Yeah, got to.
Are you good? You can hear? Can you?
Yeah.
Okay. Sunday show presented to you by Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. We're talking Josh Hart comments. We're talking Spencer Rattler. We're talking Dejounte Murray's offseason. Walker Kessler. Javonte Green is in. Matt Ryan's out. Matt Ryan is out.
He paused with it.
I did. Smash a like button.
First took away. Gas for this. Get your money's worth now.
It's going to be a heck of a Sunday show. We're so bad. Presented by the Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. Have you been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore? Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Yes, free consultation. They always fight for the win. And powered by 4D Energy. There it is. 4D Energy.
Bring
Right
the
there.
energy.
New sponsor.
Bring it in.
Powered by 4D Energy.
Hold on.
Oh.
Hey, Mazel Tov.
There it is, Chris. What's going on, man? We got Chris. We got Ross. We got Five. We got Lito in studio. Appreciate everybody here on Sunday. But by the way, man, Michael, appreciate you, bro, for the super chat right off the bat. Right off the
Big
bat.
Mike from the wood.
Yeah, Mike, we'll answer answer this question at the end, but we'll talk about the uniforms and go from there. So, Jarrett, let's start off with you. Man,
I know this.
I'm just gonna play the clip.
Yeah,
he's already backtracked it. We're gonna talk about it, but Josh Hart had a couple things to say during the week about, I guess, New Orleans and what was going on their show with Jalen Brunson. They were talking with Lil Wayne and Tom Brady. I'll play the clip right now.
I would say this. I don't think you ever hear anyone say they were excited to get traded to New Orleans. I wasn't. But the only thing I was excited about, boy, was rolling around in New Orleans, listening to Lil Wayne, going to every game, man. So what motivated?
I didn't want to get to the rest of
it. Bro, you've said that before on multiple occasions. Like, we get it, bro. We get it. We understand. This isn't New York. This isn't LA. This is New Orleans. Respect it as such. Move around accordingly, as you should. And people embraced you when you got here. People pulled up to your podcast when you got here. You hadn't even played a game, and people were supporting you. You did the dirty work. You did everything you needed to do. And just like every other, NBA city you've been in, the fans have embraced you. But there was no need to say that. You didn't get any points from Wayne by saying that. Wayne didn't look at you like, hey, you support. Like, no. Wayne probably doesn't even know your name, to be honest with you. You're a role player. Move around like such, bro. Everybody liked you when you were here. You didn't need to say that. You don't need to do that. Just be humble about certain things. Like, we don't need that kind of animosity. You could have, came back to the city and got a rollout from the team where they showed a video highlight kind of tape. You're probably not gonna get that, but just be cool about how you move, man. Just be cool.
Lito, go ahead.
All right, so check this out. It's two different ways that I feel about this. The first way is, Josh Hart has a ponytail that he pulled through a cap.
Yeah.
And I really feel like at that point, why should I care about what a grown man has to say when he pulls his ponytail through an open part of the cap? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I know exactly what
you know, like, it's already off the rails that you feel like you have the nerve. Like, you went up there with the nerve enough to pull a ponytail through a cap. And then secondly, I feel like Josh Hart is a role player who literally wasn't creative enough to pull off a segue to a question. So he had to then think of the most negative thing he could say to be positive. The whole part about it was, pause, I'm just gonna pause this. You was trying to dick ride Wayne. That's what you was trying to do, right? But then you diss Wayne City amidst the whole spiel of this shit. What the fuck are you on? What are you doing? I want to go back to the part about not being good enough at podcasting.
Mm-hmm.
When I say that, because when I be saying we the best podcasters in the world, I don't be saying that to just say that shit. You really got to know how to get your segues now. You really got to know how to drop questions, and you got to know how to lead shit to the next segment. And I'm gonna just pass it on to somebody else.
Ross,
as a segue, that boy good. That boy good.
Come on, man.
That boy good.
I think it's annoying, but like I wasn't a huge Josh Hart fan before that. Without giving away too many sort of secrets, like I've always kind of thought Josh Hart was just a little bit fraudulent from like a personality perspective. But my biggest issue with
Byron, get the fuck out.
with what he said is the nobody. No, motherfucker, that's just you. Just say I didn't.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it shows a level of insecurity for me with like what you're, either the situation you're in or what you want to say. Don't say nobody likes getting traded to New Orleans. Just say I was in LA enjoying myself. It wasn't a trade that I was real excited about at the time. There's just another way to word it where you don't seem like an asshole or a dumbass. And he botched it pretty bad. And so I don't know. I get real annoyed with this whole is there some of that in the league where people maybe don't want to get traded here because the team hasn't had a ton of success and there's instability, all this other stuff. Maybe there's probably some of that that's true. But just to in his situation, you got traded here. I think the team elevated your stature throughout the league with how you were
100%.
used and the way you were allowed to play freely here and how hard you played. It was just an annoyance from a guy that I don't particularly like that much in the first place. But yeah, I mean, look, Five said it, you're a role player, man. Just quiet down.
That was my biggest thing.
Just shut up.
There's just certain ways. So Chris, what would you say? Because obviously, when Josh Hart was playing here, a lot of people have talked about, well, he played so hard here, he was a fan favorite, and then he says something like that. I mean, do fans have a right to be pissed off at Josh Hart for those comments?
Sure. I mean, because he didn't shit on, he didn't keep it simply about the Pelicans, right? You have,
Right.
I'll give you DeMarcus Cousins, for example, right? When he talks negative about some experiences with New Orleans, it's not about the city. It's Dell Demps, right? It's the organization. If Chris Paul says something negative about New Orleans, it's the organization or it was ownership towards his exit. It's not the city. If Drew Holiday says anything constructive about the Pelicans down the line, it probably won't be about the city. Josh could have framed that in so many different ways. And the problem is, after saying something like that in making it about New Orleans, a place in which when he first, people gotta, if we go back and remember when he got traded, Josh was the only person out of the group that came to New Orleans that went out of his way to act like he was like he was like a scoring X. He went out of his way to show that he was happy being traded to New Orleans. He was posting Pelicans flip-flops that I hadn't seen. He's posting smiles. He was going on, different radio and podcasts and different shows talking about how excited he was for new starts. And me and Five talked about it a little bit on Twitter. He got Taylor Rooks, right? That's an inside for those that know. But you know what I'm saying? He did all that, but he went out of his way to do that. Just like he went out of his way to say what he said, you know what I'm saying, specifically about New Orleans. Ain't about, though, if you would have, I can't get mad at somebody if they say, hey, I'm leaving Los Angeles to go to New Orleans. That's subjective. That's perspective. If you're upset about that, what I'm going to say to you about that? You know what I'm saying? But to say that nobody, as Ross was saying as well, to say that nobody is excited, to come to New Orleans, fucking what is it now? 3 years later, 2.5 years later, you in New York. Why are you not putting all of your energy should be towards the team that you are with right now that have went all out to try to win a championship? Your best way to give a compliment to Lil Wayne is to sit on New Orleans. How does that?
It just gives you a fake vibe. That's what I hate. And I've never really liked Josh Hart about that. He just gives me this fake, just tough guy vibe. That's where I'm at with the whole thing. And to your point, Chris, you are 100% right. When I vividly remember when he first got traded, he's like, where are the best restaurants? I think he mentioned something about Cafe Du Monde. He had the flip-flops or whatever, the Pelicans and all that different kind of stuff. And then 5, 6 years, cool. You're having some success in New York. That's awesome. You're doing a great job. You're a hustle guy, all this other kind of stuff. But there's just no need, Jared, to literally there's no need to take that kind of shot.
Bro, I was on the driving the Josh Hart fan bus saying like, I didn't want to trade him because I thought he was a smart enough basketball player to keep here. But ideally, like he's not, I wouldn't say he's like a bad player. No. I just think he's not good enough to be talking like this, to be honest with you. I don't think like a guy like this should be saying, like, why are you talking about a city that you left? You went to another city between the two where you are right now. You went to Portland after you left New Orleans. If your beef is with, the organization, just say it. Or you could have just told Wayne, when I was living in New Orleans, bro, I was listening to your music. Go into your question. You didn't have to say anything about New Orleans specifically. Like you didn't.
And then not to like just own it.
That's my thing. You're backtracking. Don't backtrack.
He's just such a fraud. Like, just be like, yeah, no, I wasn't. Like, instead of just saying, no, I wasn't happy about being there or whatever. I didn't like. That's fine. Like, all right, cool, man. You said what you said. It is what it is. But then don't come back trying to be like, oh yeah, nah, this, that, or the other. It was cool once I got there or something like that. Like, nah, you don't get it doesn't get like a pass for me. That's like
you following through.
That's like saying we're going to eat, Thanksgiving at my mom's house, and your partner's like, nah, and you invite a friend, like, man, nah, mom's ugly and she can't cook. And then you go over there and you're like, oh no, the food was actually straight.
That's crazy.
Wasn't that bad or something. No,
we gotta fight.
Yeah, you don't get to come back. Like, you don't get that. Like,
that's a crazy analogy, bro. That's so crazy.
I didn't know where you're going with that one.
You can't insult it that bad and then be like, no, but it was straight once I got there. It ended up being all right. Like, nah, man, just go on.
Your mom is ugly and she can't cook.
The food was all right.
Food ended up being all right.
Lito, did you take? I've seen some comments. Did you take any offense to Lil Wayne laughing through that whole thing? I know, Jared. I know. We've talked about it. I actually even called you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lito.
Wayne didn't know who he was talking to. Wayne had no idea who Josh Hart is. He was.
I gotta pause the show. I mean, first off, like, it's a great super chat. I appreciate you, but X has now changed his profile picture to Spencer Rattlers. I want to say South Carolina.
That boy X, he consistent, bro.
We need to get X on the show. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, really, that's the most important thing. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, Josh Hart is not important. He's not important. Wayne didn't know who he was talking to. I'm sure Wayne was high as high as he wanted to be. So no, I mean, I don't feel offended by that. And to be honest, bro, I'm not. When I think about the Josh Hart thing, I'm not even really offended by that because, like, you're a role player. Like, it's
how many playoff wins did Josh Hart win in New Orleans?
Playoffs.
Wow. How many times did you go to the playoffs in a Pelicans uniform? Does anybody have that answer? Because I have it.
Zero.
Yeah, I mean,
0.
That's why I like the whole, not nothing to do with these comments, but like the whole welcome Josh Hart back. Like, we need to get Josh Hart back, bro. Josh Hart is in the NBA of effort. He's in the NBA because of he's a poor man's Jerome Williams. Like he not in the NBA off skill. Like, ain't nobody.
He literally hustles. He runs around and hustles.
Pass it to Josh. The fuck for? What does he go do?
Yeah. So Chris, the whole Josh Hart thing happens, right? Well, enter Dejounte Murray, because then Dejounte Murray quote tweets it from Legion Hoops and says, "Shit."
Yeah. No.
Shit.
There you go.
Shit. I can't relate. Stop reading these things,
It's good though.
All right,
Somebody clip this, man.
Nola, I've been smiling since that motherfucking trade happened on my mama.
Hey,
Come on, Justin.
hey,
Wow.
Come on.
hey.
Okay,
I hear you.
Chris.
You get better, man. You get better.
Better.
That's like, what's the question?
Yeah, there is no. I didn't even ask the question. Dejounte offseason, I guess. Like, it's just, Dejounte. Ever since Dejounte's been traded to New Orleans, right? So he had a great press conference. He's been rocking Pelicans uniform, Pelicans gear on social media. He's always working out. He's always, he talks about going to Vegas with the guys. He'll be obviously in Irvine. Probably should have said that, but they'll be in California. starting tomorrow. So like, he's been a Pelican for 2 months now, and I feel like he's
what are you at?
I feel like
What
he's
going,
already shout out UCI, and I feel like he's kind of just taking the reins as like being the leader, being the vocal leader, right, of this team. So, what are your thoughts, I guess, on Dejounte Murray's like off season so far in the first 2 months as a Pelican?
I think there's two ways that you can feel about his, I guess, promo since he's arrived. The first side of it is that he's doing everything the right way. He's excited. He is doing I guess the nuances that you would like to see from someone who was brought in to help and be a leader day one, even though he's walking into a new environment with new players. He's doing all the things that you want to see. And anytime, like we talked about this, for years, right, about players being excited to come to New Orleans. I mean, it's funny. It's what Josh Hart did in a lot of ways, except Dejounte Murray's a lot better. So he's checking all the boxes right now. The other side of that is, and we talked about this in the group chat, holler at me in 3 months. Like it's, and I'm not saying it's not genuine. I'm happy that Dejounte is going about it in the way that he is, because no one else on the team really is going to. And it's a little different when someone that is supposed to be a third, fourth best player on your team is doing it versus, a bench guy, or a role player. So I'm happy about that. But holler at me in 3 months. I want to see if this energy from Dejounte continues when things get a little rocky, when he sits to close a game for Jose Alvarado.
God damn it, I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, and they win. Like, yeah, I mean, what happens? Does that continue? These are the things that I want to see. It's great now. It's the early parts of a relationship. It's the honeymoon stages, but y'all don't really know each other yet. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know Baby D like I know Baby D.
Yeah. Like y'all don't know each other yet. Now, what happens when y'all move in together? You know what I'm saying? Talk to me then. That's it.
We'll go Ross. We'll go Ross 5 Lito.
I hear what Chris is saying. I just like that he responded to like another NBA play. Like it wasn't, for me, it was that part of it. Like he's just clearly a guy that I think may have been unhappy in Atlanta. Like, I mean, that seems like he wanted a new surroundings. And so I think he's looking at this as an opportunity, not a demotion. He's not upset that he got traded somewhere. Like I think in some ways he did end up where he wanted to end up. And he's a guy that has the confidence to address something like this. Like you're not going to say something disrespectful to Murray and it just go like, you might could say something to Zion disrespectful and it just kind of, we're not going to pay attention to that. Like this is part of why I'm excited for him to be here, is because he is somebody that can stand up and will stand up and like just not take some bullshit. So, I mean, I think that's really all I take from it. I mean, Chris is right. Look, it's the first month. We'll see how happy he is and everything else. But I think in any case, he's not a guy that is going to back off of confrontation. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
And from a strategy standpoint, PR standpoint, he is gifted. He is gifted. I don't know if someone's telling him to do this, but the pictures, the one he chooses to post, he's at his own camp in Pelicans gear. Like, I'm like, bro, you putting on a clinic right now. If there's anybody that, that's the person you want to model your success after. To be honest with you, he's the type of guy New Orleans can actually associate with. I think Josh Hart is more of like a Metairie kind of person. I think Dejounte Murray is more of a New Orleans person. If I were to kind of claim that, we probably need to put that up. But yeah,
that's good.
And there goes all of our followers.
Shut up, Henry.
Which is so funny. Yo, I saw a sign. I ain't gonna say the business name, but it was like made in New Orleans, and then there was like in quotations, not really Metairie, but it's okay. Like that was the post. But like that's who Josh Hart can associate himself with, like with Metairie and Covington. I think Dejounte is more of a New Orleans guy, and like I think that his ability to brand himself correctly and still connect with people that seems somewhat like him. I think this is like a match made in heaven.
Go ahead, Lito.
Josh Hart got a ponytail. Ain't really like. You know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
really affected you that he's got the ponytail. Is it more he has the ponytail or that he actually pulled through? It's the pull through.
I think the fact that he didn't have his hair done on stage with Wayne and Tom Brady, I'm like,
his priority's not at all.
yeah,
That let me know everything about him.
While we're talking about hats, I gotta ask the question: how did we land on a Toronto Blue Jay hat for today?
I'm black.
Yeah,
All right.
We don't care about teams.
That's the story. We just like the hat.
That's cool. I didn't know if there was more to that answer.
No.
But I
I
understand.
I do care about teams. Yeah, but most importantly, like the color coordination.
With the fit matter.
Yeah.
Should we show the shoes? Should we show the shoes?
Yeah. I mean, it's all. Like,
No.
Yeah, they know what it is.
Know how the pocket square and tie matches up with the fuchsia sock. That
was really all. Like, it's funny though because I was in DC, man. I had on an Orioles hat, and this old white guy was like, "Man, you really like?" I was like, "No, I'm black." Black.
Have you at least been impressed with DeJounte's offseason?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was the question.
Yeah.
Oh,
Back to DeJounte. That's New Orleans DeJounte.
I'm sorry. Yeah, man. I mean, he came into the press conference and he dictated how that was gonna go. Yeah. He refuted his coach and GM. You know what I'm saying? In his first 5 minutes.
Wait, where would he be? What part of New Orleans would he be from?
Ooh.
Not to like stamp, people in places that they don't. But
damn, that kind of energy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And pre-Katrina.
I want to put him. I want to put him.
Yeah.
I want to put him in the Calio. I
Word.
want to put him. Yeah. I want to say. I want to say somewhere on Barone Street.
Okay, that's where I be.
Yeah. Yeah. But the old like. Yeah. But. Yeah. I went to a second line. Never mind.
This shows will be off the rails.
That boy gonna be at a second line.
I can't
guarantee it. Guarantee it.
I think he's done a masterful job. The branding, the defending his team, not only this team, defending the city, because Josh didn't say the Pelicans, he said New Orleans.
Yeah.
Defending his new city. You know what I'm saying? I think the Pelicans got a real one with that. That's love. Cause I mean, I don't mean to throw no shade on nobody else, but like nobody else on the team said anything.
That's what I was gonna go. Yeah. It's like nobody said a word. Nobody.
You know who would have? You know who would have? No. Najee wouldn't have.
Oh, see, yeah, you're right. Because
exactly, but it's different with DeJounte. It would have been Larry Nance, right? But it's different. It's just different with DeJounte because and you get the sense that he's cut from a different cloth. And again, similar to Josh Hart, he's a better player. Like it rings supreme when not only like you believe that the person is right now genuine and passionate about what they said, you believe that they arrive with a little bit of edge, they got a different kind of mentality, probably a little crazy on the floor, but on top of that, they just a really good fucking player. Like the Pelicans throughout the history of their organization have not had enough of those, especially since we've gotten into like the new era of social media. They haven't had enough of those. It's all been role players. It's been like, you know what I'm saying? It's time for one of the stars to be one of them dudes.
But Chris, you bring up a good point. Like all y'all actually do, but I feel like we talk about the Larry Nance thing. Has he ever called out another player though?
But hold on, Justin. Wait, Chris, what meme would he have posted?
That's the shit that would have happened.
He'd have made like a joke out of it. Like
I'm excited for the DeJounte Josh Hart. I think Buku Media Stat guy, who we still don't even know, by the way, he's just been anonymous this whole time. But I'm interested to see how that December 21st matchup goes, Ross, because like to all y'all's point, like DeJounte's not a guy like you like fuck around with. Like he's gonna call you out, and I think he ain't scared to stand on business, kind of like.
Yeah, really? I don't know that it was that serious.
Wait, Hey, wait.
Hey, that's Jermaine. We got
One more
Jermaine
time?
today, baby.
You
It's
see that?
Jermaine.
What you say?
Would you say that?
You
Chat?
said,
Yeah.
yeah. You said he's not afraid to do what?
Staying on business.
Okay.
Business.
She.
You want to segue? There's your segue.
There's your segue. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever
Yeah.
you post tomorrow, that she gotta be in the beginning.
Yeah. All right.
No, I gotta talk with Jake tomorrow because I don't want to get banned. Like you get like shadow banned on Instagram if that is presented. The she, but I don't know if it's a curse word or
You ever
not.
seen it? You ever watched The Wire?
I haven't. It's on my
Wow,
list.
Wendell Pierce from
New Orleans.
there you go. Puncher Train Park.
There's a mayor on The Wire who made that he made that.
Oh,
famous.
okay.
Yeah.
I heard it's a good show. I gotta
Oh,
check it out.
Super, yeah.
First,
Just muscle through season 2. Once you get through season 2,
Yeah.
everything else picks back up. But
Okay.
just
like that. Before we get to the next segment, we're about to talk Walker Kessler. Once again, presented to you by Chris Smith Homes. Happy birthday. It's their birthday tomorrow, but Jake and Lala, they literally run Boot Crew Radio. They have the same birthday.
Hey, it's our birthday
Happy
tomorrow.
birthday, Jake Hardy.
It's our birthday tomorrow.
It's literally birthday. So
Three
happy birthday.
birthdays tomorrow.
Yeah.
To Lala and Jake. Without them, like this is not possible. They literally run the whole show. So appreciate y'all too. Hope y'all have a good birthday. All right, let's talk Walker Kessler. So Chris, start with you. Reports saying this and that. They're saying that Walker Kessler's not part of the future. We signed Javonte Green, which we'll talk about a little bit. You drafted Antonio Reeves. Shout out Chaz. He's been talking about this for a long time now. Is it possible that there's something else here in the works, right? Because you let go of Matt Ryan. You're still under the tax. I'm sorry, you're still over the tax slightly. You obviously are not going to be a tax team. If you get off Jordan Hawkins, I'm pretty sure for a Walker Kessler trade that gets you the starting center and gets you below tax. Is this going to start picking up steam here in a second?
I just don't get the feeling, man. Like
You
I
don't get the
think-
feeling?
No, I mean
Interesting.
not before the season starts. Like I don't think this organization is in a spot to where they could make a move like that so close to training camp and so on and so forth. I just don't believe it. I mean, you got BI on all the damn promotion. Justin said something he wasn't supposed to say earlier, but it's like right. Will Guillory put out that there's a practice with pretty much a good majority of the team outside of Daniel Tice and now Matt Ryan. Well, who do we think put that together? So, I'm not saying it can't happen. I think that talks will continue, and I still see this. If it's something like this is going to happen, and maybe it's other pieces involved down the line, I see it as more so of a trade deadline kind of thing. But
Do you
I
think
just
they
don't.
can wait, Chris? But like, if you're Willie Green, right? I'm not. If you're Willie Green, I'm pissed.
Is he?
I would be pissed if I'm Willie Green. Like, you're giving me this roster. It's definitely obviously a bunch of misfits. Like maybe they win. I don't know, but I don't think Willie Green would be happy to go into. And it's pretty clear that he doesn't even necessarily like Jordan Hawkins. Doesn't even play him. Like, do you think it's fair that he goes in this season on the hot seat without a starting center? You think he'd be happy about that?
You're Willie Green.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, like they have other priorities right now ahead of their above average to average head coach. Like it's my job. Again, mentality, right? It's not my job to worry about what's being put around me. It's my job to make the shit work. That's been one of the biggest issues with Willie in, pretty much when the team has been full. Like, how do you, when you have all of these players and, available and all these different skill sets, how do you find a way to make it work, that goes against your natural tendencies? How do you go out? Who gives a shit if you like the person or not? Are they, or if you mess with them, or if y'all on the same, if y'all could have been, if you see them similar to how you were as a player, do they make the basketball team better? And are there ways that you can make that happen? Even if that means pissing off some of the people that do remind you of you. Like, So I mean, to be honest, like if I'm the organization, I'm not caring that much about what Willie Green is thinking. They have enough talent, even though they have a clear void at the center position. There's enough talent, and the most talent that Willie Green has ever had at his disposal. Fuck everything else. Find a way to make it work. It may not all fit. It may not be the perfect traditional type of situation, but find a way to make it work. Or it's not gonna matter. You're not gonna be an elite, or you're not gonna meet that next level of head coach anyway. Like, this is where you separate yourself from being an average coach or an above average coach to good. You think Eric Spoelstra will look at this right now and be like, "What the fuck are we doing?" Maybe, but he would also take it as a challenge and say, "I'm gonna find a way to make this shit work." That's what the real ones do.
It's a good point. I just don't think he has the All-Star break. That's just my thinking.
See, when the schedule came out, I wasn't here for that show, but kind of mad that I wasn't. I got to thinking. Here with the bottle of
Oh, my fault.
It's all good.
I'm sorry.
It got me thinking. I hated the fact that the schedule was easy, but then mentally I was like, no, I kind of like it because these are games you're supposed to win. And what do I know about the Pelicans? They don't tend to win games they're supposed to win. So if you say you lose all 3 to Portland,
No way they lose all 3.
hey, they lost.
If they go 1-2 against Portland, I think it's.
And that's my point. That's actual possibility. It's early in the season. Portland doesn't know who they are yet.
Yep.
You know, they'll be like, fuck it. We might win. We can get on a roll real quick. It's early in the season. People don't have their legs. We're young. You know, we can come out and, blitz this team real easy. They just kind of got together. They still don't know who they are as them being the Pelicans.
It's a dangerous time to play Portland. It's not like playing Portland at the end of the year. I think I forget, we might play on that West Coast, but
and like
it's a good point, Five.
Portland is one of those teams over the course of the whole season. Like, yeah, they're probably not gonna be that great, but on any given night, like
They got some talent.
they got Denny, they've got DeAndre Ayton, got Jeremy
Shaden
Grant,
Shaden
got
Sharp.
Anthony Simons. Like, they're
From
not.
a scoop.
This isn't a. There are worse teams. There are much worse teams in the NBA than the Portland Trailblazers. Like, to be clear, they ain't that bad.
Now, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
early on in the season,
Scoot
it's-
played good that last month.
you think just early on in the season, no, you can get beat. You fuck around and not, all right, you'll find out real easy. And then it's 20 games into the season, you under 500. I think conversations would probably had been started before then. Like, you should have won games.
Yep.
Can't blame anybody but yourself at that point.
That's fair. That's actually a good point, Five. Lito, do you think getting Kessler now, I guess, versus getting him at the All-Star break is going to be a big, like, to me, I don't think getting Walker Kessler at the All-Star break, like, makes you any better or worse. I think if you get him now, you can kind of, okay, Kessler's our starter. The depth chart gets a little bit more clearer. You can send Missy to the G League. Sure, Carlo can be your third center off the bat. Like, I just think there's a better vision if you get him now than if you get him at the All-Star break. And Chris, I'm not saying you're wrong. You're thinking it's you make good points about that. I'm just thinking, well, fuck, man, if I don't have a center, I start off, I don't know, 6-12. My ass is probably fired. That's my thinking process. But maybe
I don't think they look at it that way. I don't think they look at it that way. I really don't.
Okay, go ahead, Leo.
I think before I answer your question, I want to say I tweeted last week or 2 weeks ago. The only thing really stopping me from believing in the Pelicans this season is an actual NBA center, like a starting center. And to answer your question, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Hit me with a question. Answer a question with the question.
Are we to get Walker Kessler? Are you saying that they're gonna trade Brandon to get that?
No, I just simply think you take Hawkins and a pick, which sucks because I think I like Hawkins, as obviously y'all know that. I don't think, and I completely agree with Jarrett, under this head coach, I don't think that Jordan Hawkins can reach the potential that he, is projected to be. Like, it is what it is. I think a lot of people in the front office see that. I think any average fan can see that. How do you bench a guy who drops 30 the night before, outduels Kyrie, and you just bench him?
the caveat to that would be who can reach their potential under this head coach. That's the actual question.
Fair question.
I think Herb has reached his potential.
You know what?
I
Good job,
don't.
Ross.
Yeah.
I think it's close enough. Like if
Yeah.
If you don't think this is Herb's potential, then that's a separate.
You're
that's
just talking
a
about
separate
shooting.
Yeah.
You're just talking about shooting.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, what else is he gonna have?
I think Herb can do a lot more.
first team all defense. I mean,
Offensively, I think Herb can do
shooting
a lot more.
40% from three, upwards of 45 from the corner. Fuck.
Some people are just role players, like, and it's okay to accept that he's elite
Fair.
right now in his role. Like, I don't know what else Herb has in the.
No,
bag.
well,
But
well,
again, that's a separate conversation. Go ahead, Chris.
well, yeah, because his potential could be the production may look different. It like we put a lot of emphasis on the shooting, as everyone should right now, because they have 3 or 4 different guys that need to handle the basketball. But at his highest potential, we're talking about usage, Herb may have the basketball in his hands a little bit more, using some of those playmaking skills. You know what I'm saying? Some of those point guard. I'm not saying you're wrong. We talk about this all the time. There may not be a better year if we're talking in totality, making an all defensive first team, finishing with defensive player of the year votes, and shooting 42% from 3. You may not see better than that. That could be as good as it gets. But I would say if we're talking about potential, we're talking about using Herb, I guess, at whatever his best is. I think it would look a little bit differently. But you could be right though, Ross. You could be 100% right.
I mean, going back to the original question, I don't like if the trade is Hawkins and a pick for Kessler. Like, what's the holdup? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not, I mean, because before we were talking about, is there some bigger Utah trade that includes Brandon and now you've got bigger salaries that are going. That's a total. If we're just talking Hawkins for a starting center, like what the hell are we? This wouldn't be a conversation for me for a lot of reasons. One, Kessler's a young player with still in theory a lot of untapped potential himself.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's going to get
down
more opportunity to play. Like so there's that piece of it. The other part is like, and this is, I mean, Justin, I texted this earlier in the week. Like, you don't go just sign like a veteran solid player like Green, not spectacular, but like a guy that's more than capable of playing a handful of minutes, like every night, like perfect, can do everything on a basketball court, perfectly adequate. And he's probably a really good rebounder for a guard, like a guy that you can absolutely play for Matt Ryan, who we know was not going to play. So just think about that as a 1-in, 1-out there. You don't just like, why? Because we're already saying there's not room for Jordan Hawkins to play anyway. So why would you go sign another veteran that like
why draft Antonio Reeves
that can play unless there's not something else at this point in the offseason? If there's not something else that's going to happen there. And so for me, if that's the trade, because I don't think Hawkins is going to ever get to his potential here, I think you really should be under a mandate to win like now. Like right. Something has to happen this year.
Yeah.
If for no other reason than like if you're going to keep Brandon around until the All-Star break, well, like his contract's up. We've talked ad nauseum about, you don't have endless time with Zion. Like, to me, that feels like this is like so low risk.
Yeah.
That what are we doing?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. See who goes next.
No. He
got it. Okay.
Ruin
the game.
Damn. This is funny to me because if you make the trade, I don't think Willie Green plays him anyway. To be honest,
here you go. I mean,
that's the other thing. Like, to be honest, say if James, like Willie gets fired and James Borrego becomes a coach, right? Because that's kind of what I think anyway. I think Hawkins would benefit from James Borrego,
100%,
and then Kessler would benefit from James Borrego. Because if you've seen when James had Miles Plumlee in Charlotte, I like the way he used Miles. Or was that Mason?
I think that was Mason.
That was Mason. Sorry.
That was Mason.
All right, so the way he used Mason in the high post and allowed him to screen and pass. Yeah, all white people look alike. Screen and pass from the high post, dribble handoff actions. I think Walker Kessler has the skills to kind of do something similar like that. But again, it's a two-edged sword. Like, they both would benefit, but you'd have to trade one for the other. So I don't know how you kind of go about it. But The real issue is philosophy, not necessarily players.
And to answer your question, why did they draft Antonio?
Traded in the second round. Like they traded back into the second round to draft him.
I'm not trying to rain on Jordan Hawkins' parade because I'm high on his ability.
This means that he's about to rain on the parade.
I think yeah. Jordan, get your umbrella out, Jordan. I think that Antonio is the better player. You look at Jordan as everybody said a specialist.
I don't know. How can you say that? Overall? How can you say that?
I'll let you finish. I'm not that high on Hawkins either.
I am.
I should let you finish.
I think I'm not saying I'm not. It's not that I'm even down on Hawkins. It's just that, like, for his ability, like for what I've seen from Antonio Reeves, like he's just a bucket getter, right?
Yeah.
Certain things kind of got to go Jordan's way to do that, and you're not gonna get that here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And the thing with and the main thing with Jordan is like he can't dribble at an NBA level. You've seen him try
That's
to.
fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like
he's little. He seems little to me.
He's not strong at all.
Yeah, like there's just hurdles. Like
crazy.
There's just hurdles to get through for him, and like in the right development system, look, maybe because he does have one legit NBA skill, but it seems like there would be a lot of work that would have to go into him ultimately becoming like a centerpiece of an offense or something like that. And I don't know, man. It seems like you're years from that, and I just don't know that we have the time.
Chris, you want to chime in before I?
Yeah, I wanted to ask a question, not about Jordan, but more so about Kessler.
All right, hold on.
I think we talked. No, yeah, go.
All right, let me. Jordan Hawkins played for Dan Hurley there of the UConn Huskies, won a national championship in a very sophisticated offense, probably more sophisticated than anything we've seen as of late in the NBA. I think that young man can succeed under the right tutelage. We have yet to see said tutelage in New Orleans, hence the problem that we're having today. Antonio Reeves, bucket getter, can play any style of basketball. I wish Jordan Hawkins had the run that Steph Curry got when he was in Golden State, was allowed to fail and see and progress and be under veterans that helped him and pushed him, playing alongside Monte Ellis and trying to figure out, like, all right, this is how I need to score in the NBA. He doesn't have that luxury. He doesn't have that time. He doesn't have that time here. I'm with Lito. He needs to be better with the ball. He needs to be better, Paul. He needs to be better at dribbling the basketball. He needs to be stronger with the ball. He needs to be stronger in general. He doesn't have that luxury of time here. That's the real issue. If you draft a guy in the first round, you say a guy has potential. Well, what effort are you putting into the potential for it to turn into a positive return on investment? That's the real issue. Antonio Reeves is NBA ready because he's played 4 years in college, played in multiple levels, knows how to score, can score without being the number one guy, can be the third option and still average 20 points in college under Cal. And we know how guards have excelled playing at the NBA level when they've played for Coach Cal. That's my synopsis of the situation. Of course, he would be better fit for the Pelicans because he already knows how to play the game. But who has the higher ceiling? Jordan Hawkins.
Very well said. Chris?
I think it may have been a few shows ago. We talked about Will Hardy, the coach for Utah. And I think a good majority of us had complimentary things to say about him, right? From what we knew, what we saw. I'm curious what you guys think about. I think, Justin, you mentioned that Kessler had a down year, but outside of that, he got replaced in the starting lineup, right? They took a starting front court of Marketing and Collins at a certain point of the year when they were kind of still fighting for playing position, right? What do you guys make of that? And I mean, him playing another year in the summer league. I know we talk about how Willie would use him, but what's missing if we consider Will Hardy to be a solid coach or a good coach, and that coach is saying, I don't think that you're starting caliber. what does that say to you, and how would you, I guess, help him with that, like his weaknesses or whatever, like make the best of him if you did end up bringing him on to New Orleans?
So I was going to have a Lito special here and go answer your question with a question. And what is the Pelicans like as a center, right? What did JV not do very well last year? What would you say is one of his weaknesses? Probably protecting the rim. Would that be I know, Lito. I know, like, you watched the game. I understand that. And the box score, all the bullshit. I'm just saying.
Stats say.
I'm just saying this guy, Walker Kessler, averages 2.5 blocks a game in a down year. Average 9 and 8. You don't really need your center. Like, you don't need Kessler to score. What he does, what Willie Green's our head coach. He needs a rim protector. Jarrett, you and I talk about this all the time. Imagine Herb Jones, and now Dejounte Murray with a rim protector. That's what Walker Kessler is.
Yeah.
So I like there. I've seen some comments like Walker Kessler had a down year. Walker Kessler like sucks. Like, no, dude. Like, he doesn't. He's his third year. He cost $2 million, and you don't even play Jordan Hawkins. And I like Jordan Hawkins. I completely agree with Jarrett. And there's some people, and like, you're not wrong, like Jordan Hawkins has a lot. Like, he needs to work on a lot. I completely agree. At the same time, though, if you're not going to play Jordan Hawkins, you're not going to develop him. Yeah. Then what are you doing?
So look, it's not even that he needs to work on a lot. He just needs to be in another place, because the skill set that he has is perfectly fine. It's just not fine for his head coach. The problem with Walker Kessler is the same problem that you get with NFL quarterbacks. You don't have the time to develop guys anymore. Society is so microwave that you cannot. It used to be a point where, let's say Spencer Rattler, right? He would get 4 or 5 years.
Shout out to Spence.
Where he could sit behind a good quarterback and learn the system and get his shout out to Ronald, man. What's up, bro? And he could learn, and he could, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't get that anymore. It's like, all right, Walker was good 1 year, right? The next year he wasn't good. Okay, we got to get him out of here. We got to find somebody. The other thing too is the NBA has changed. If you were to bring Walker Kessler here,
tough name to pronounce. We want to say Kessler Walker, but it's really Walker
his
Kessler.
Parents did a terrible job.
It's tough.
Jesus Christ.
Shout out to the Kessler parents.
Off the rip.
Salute, mom and dad. Hey, the thing is, you trade him, right? You bring him here. Guess what? He gonna find a way to play JRE over him. He's gonna find a way to put insert player's name in the conversation over him, because it's the same. Shout out to Frank from UNO. It's the same situation. The NBA is all about versatility now, right? It's hard for a 7'1" guy to be versatile. You can't change 7'1", dog. He just 7'1".
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I think that's the bigger point, that to like answer Chris's question about maybe why he didn't play or whatever happened there, right? Like, Utah plays at just a much faster pace than the Pelicans do. I don't know where the Pelicans were in pace, but I'm pretty sure Utah was in the top 10, and I know we weren't. And so I think just the decision they made and the style of offense that they were playing, that, I mean, they basically play almost 3 7-footers in the starting lineup either way. John Collins is 6'9", 6'10", Markkanen's whatever, 6'10", 6'11", the like foreign white dude, Fontecchio or whatever, is 6'9", 6'10", playing on the wing. So I think that was probably just a strategic decision. The other 3 things that all of those guys did pretty well was shoot. Yeah. So Markkanen, very good shooter. John Collins, quietly a pretty damn good shooter now for a forward / center, shooting 37, 38% on however many attempts he took last year, probably 4 or 5. Fontecchio, very good shooter. Like, all of that plays into maybe why he wasn't playing so much in the style of basketball they're trying to play. Well,
wow. Well, sorry.
Chris and Lito are fucking losing it right now.
These guys
trying to run a show here. Wow. Jeez. I think Wahab's going off the chat.
Dog,
That's hilarious, dog. That's crazy.
Whatever. Dog. Like, dude got crazy. The dude's name is Simone Fontaine.
Wow, funny, dog.
dog.
Look.
God damn, bro.
It is what it is. Wow. All right. shout out UK or wherever. Wow. But no, I think it's just a style thing. Like I think judging Walker Kessler by those standards might be somewhat akin to judging Trey Murphy for why he's not starting here. Like you could almost say the same thing with why didn't Trey Murphy start. I mean, there's more to it. Like there's a little bit of nuance there. I think Kessler has a lot of upside and could be really good here with the other players that are projected to be in the starting lineup.
Hold on, Justin, we still aren't thinking about the fact that a bunch of teams in the Western Conference have a bunch of guys that are 7 feet tall.
And I'm so glad you're bringing that up, Jared. It's like, look, I'm trying to think this through. Like JRE as a 5 is not an option in my opinion. Carlo Makovic as a 5 is not a Yves Missy. It's not even a thought. Like he's in the G League for 70 games this year.
Daniel Tice is like 6'8" or 6'9". Like
dig this. I think Ross said this to this point. You said the NBA is changing. I start to think, yes, you're correct. I'm starting to think that it's changing back. Like there's some reversal, some correction to the rule a little bit because you've overplayed the versatility a little bit and now you're getting killed because of it. So you need to have some kind of resourcefulness when it comes to a guy like Walker. It's $2 million. It's different than playing JV, who I think his contract, can anybody tell me, like $10+ million a year?
15 last year,
right? Yeah. It's a little bit better to bench a guy that's making $2 million than 15. Like, well, it's still, you're only making that, like, it costs to be the boss. It costs to play.
Ross, I gotta cut you off for a second. I want you. I gotta answer this real quick because just tweaking. You're always here. I appreciate your comments. Have you seen Carlo play an NBA minute?
That's the.
Are we going off of just summer league? Have you been watching his games overseas? Are we going off G League? Like, I'm just saying we're like Carlo had a good G League game. I'm personally letting you know from the things that I hear. I don't think you can just pencil this guy in for 15 minutes a night. But look, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just saying I've never seen this guy play a single minute of NBA basketball. So I think penciling him in for 15 minutes a night, I just don't see it. But go ahead, Ross.
I'm saying, look, to Five's point, like there's nuance to it. Like it wasn't some big secret that Utah is trying to trade John Collins. Well, how do you build up John Collins' sort of trade value? Well, you play him and you let him run up and down the court a bunch and let him do the things that he's good at, which is being faster than some other center. Like there's just more to it than I think evaluating Walker Kessler on last year's little small sample size alone. Like he's 21 years old. He's 7 foot. Like just go look at the other players in our division now, not even in the whole conference. Zach Edey is like 7'10" or whatever the fuck he is. Wemby is even taller than that. So like
JJ, like you go just name it, go down the list.
Need a tall human being.
Start Zion at center.
That's gonna work.
That'll fix it.
That show.
It's interesting, just from a basketball perspective, listening. I think I've mentioned that the game is changing in accordance to something that Ross said. And
pretty crazy.
It's just what I'm curious about is, right, I think the last time the game changed was Golden State, right? Like between Steph and them just kind of slowly starting to punt the center position due to how great Draymond was. Teams trying to duplicate that, but then they fucking realize what they should realize right away is that, well, you can't replicate Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, two of the greatest shooters in the world. Like you can't replicate what Draymond does. Like it's not in some of the role players sacrificing Iguodala. So the rest of the league, more times than not, ends up getting cooked. So things have to change. Then you go through this period where teams start to kind of flip flop on how they want to do things, and then boom, Wemby gets drafted. And now it's like, all right, well, you got teams saying, well, shit, we got to deal with that. So how do we simply just stay alive to end up being able to deal with what Wemby is. So now Memphis, who maybe if there wasn't a Wemby, maybe they don't draft Zach Edey, but now they have to, or they feel like they have to because they have to simply deal with him. And it's going to be other teams that are going with two bigs and so on and so forth, just simply to deal with him and what he's going to continue to mature into as a basketball player. I find that interesting. I also think, though, if I was being at my most positive, and it's more of a question than an actual answer, like Lito mentioned Zion at the 5, but whoever at the fucking 5, whoever it is, what
Frank.
if everything goes right, what can the Pelicans punish teams with? Pause.
Nah,
brother.
nah.
Yeah.
Brother.
We gotta.
Yeah.
He was
Yeah.
staring directly
Yeah.
into the camera.
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man.
Look,
Brother.
before we answer this question, I was gonna get to a commercial. This just screwed up the whole thing because I was gonna post this before we even got to the commercial. We still have this and that. So, all right, so we have like 180 people in here. Appreciate it on a Sunday night, man. Y'all are the best. Make sure you smash the like button. It helps out the channel. We're gonna Lito, you're gonna answer Chris's question after the commercial break. Punish teams. Let's hear from Standard Mortgage.
Buying a house is one of the largest financial investments you'll ever make. That's why you need the experience and the support of the Standard Mortgage team. Whether you're looking to purchase, refinance, or consolidate debt through a cash-out refinance loan, Standard Mortgage will help you every step of the way. For the last century, we've grown to 7 locations across Louisiana, but we've always called New Orleans home. While others are busy raising your rates, we're focused on raising the standard. Visit us today at stanmore.com, STANMOR.com, NMLS number 44912, equal housing lender.
What'd you say?
He's offending you.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Go ahead, Lito.
Talking about
punishing in the paint. Go ahead, Lito.
No.
I'm just literally recapping what he said.
No. I think the conversation is funny because when you talk centers, people always go to how many centers can beat us in the NBA, right? Because people are automatically go to Jokic and they go to Embiid, but dog,
Nobody.
It's a group of centers out there who may not have the name, but because of either size and or skill have the game. Right. And a lot of teams have big lineups. That's crazy. But you said something even crazier. So we not even go past that. Nah.
Hey, yo.
Nah, that man over here talking about BDSM. Like, nah, we not.
A grip of centers?
I heard that shit too.
That's crazy.
I don't know where your head was, but I heard what you said too.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Hold on. I don't know where your head was.
All right.
All right, doggy.
I'm just saying, yeah, y'all are in control tonight. Go ahead.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a
Is it
lot
the
of
wine?
teams out there.
Is it the one?
Is it the brain? It's a lot of teams out there who have 6'10", 7-foot guys, bro. Like, and the Pelicans don't. I fucking hate y'all so much. The Pelicans don't have that, man. The Pelicans do not have that, and as much as you have to start Daniel Tyson's situation, it's still like, fuck, is that it?
Caught Charlie horse my hamstring.
Hey, it's all good. It's not all good for you, but you know,
Sorry.
I hope you feel
During
better.
a podcast?
Yeah.
What the fuck is he doing over here? Hey, this show off the rails.
5 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not adding shit.
So Will Guillory, appreciate everyone in here. Will Guillory tweeted out this week that they're having workouts in California. I don't know what city they're having it in.
You sure?
I may or may not be lying. Jared, is it a big deal that they're doing it? I don't remember them doing it last year. I could
Because the
be
year
wrong.
before.
They did 2 years ago
Yeah.
in California.
Yeah.
I think
Zion
they did like a
wasn't
yoga session or something crazy. Did
Post-
Zion show up?
No,
or no?
Zion wasn't there.
Zion did not show up.
Come on, Justin.
Sorry. Big deal, not big deal. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Does it matter?
Hold up. Before you answer that, hey, we ain't got to lie. We know. We just ain't gonna say. It's all good. We
Yeah.
in the know.
No, we know.
We know.
No, we know.
We know what's up. Yeah.
A lot of people don't think we know, but we know. But go ahead, Jerry.
Big deal that there's a team bonding experience, a team mini camp, put on by the players. Yeah, I guess it's cool. We'll see how it benefits the team. I think it will. You see other teams doing stuff like this. The Rockets, Jalen Green put one on at his home in Houston.
That was fire.
Which is fire.
That's
They had
cool.
on like pennies and stuff, like representing which teams they were on. And so I was like, oh, that's kind of dope. No coaches, just hooping. And I think you should see a lot of that. I was hoping to see, videos this summer of guys getting together and hooping. I mean, it's August, which is fine, but September is next week. I wish you would have done this back in May or June or July. Maybe, that seems a little bit better, but we'll see. We'll see if it's beneficial. We'll just see.
Ross, go ahead.
Justin, we have something that can help with the cramps. 4D.
Yes.
Go ahead and crack one open there, pal. I'll help you out with that. Yeah, look, I'm happy about it. Again, this goes back to some of the other stuff that we've talked about where like the bar is so low for like team camaraderie and hearing about good things happening in the off season that anything like this is like, that's cool. Like, damn, they actually, keeping in touch this year. That's what's up. So no, yeah, it's fine. I'm happy that they're playing basketball as a team. Maybe it'll help us maybe it'll help them really as they start the season, and there'll be a little bit of team chemistry built up by that point.
Chris, do you have any thoughts on these workouts? I mean, it's good to see. I'm glad to see it. Do you think it means anything moving forward?
The only
They didn't
thing
do it last year.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the only thing that I take from it is that Zion is supposed to be there. And out of all of these different team organized workouts that they've done over the past few years, Zion's been the guy that's been missing for the most part. I think the year before, what was it, two or 3 years ago, he was supposed to be a part of one, and then he broke his toe or broke his foot, whatever it was. I don't remember, whatever it ended up happening. And then most of us, pretty much all of us, didn't find out about it until media day. But I think that's the most that I take from it is that Zion is going to be there. Maybe that, that shows like you can only do so much, but we keep talking about Zion taking the next step as just a leader. And part of that is just taking a step as a teammate, as a, maturing as a human being and trying to figure out how to be more of just one of the guys. I'm curious to see how that works. And then maybe another element of this that works well is that if they would have done this in June and July, maybe the thought was that there were going to be bigger changes that have happened so far. So now maybe it signals that this is pretty much going to be the team. And who knows? Maybe it helps them, maybe it doesn't. But I would say that it is good to see it for a team that has so many fucking questions as is, especially if everybody out of maybe your starting center, Daniel Tice, is going to be there.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So this is Zion's first healthy offseason in a long time, right?
Not necessarily. I mean, he did pull his hamstring.
He was healthy last offseason. He had the kid, he was
out running those wind sprints last
Yeah.
season.
In this heat?
Yeah, in this heat.
Yeah.
And this,
So my question is: Does Zion come back to this season having added anything to his game?
Good question. I'm going to go on and say, yeah. I'm going to say the jumper is more of a consistent thing as you see in game one.
That was going to be like my follow-up is what do you want him to add to his game that just being in peak physical shape will not automatically add, right? I thought he played at times in the middle of the season, like really well defensively, because he was in really, really good shape and you can get down in a defensive stand, all that stuff. I mean, are you purely referring to shooting? Like, is that, cause I don't know. Cause I don't know what else like that we would want him to add.
A right hand.
Fair enough.
Some type of post move.
Because the thing about it, my bad.
No,
The thing about it for me is right. If you're an out of shape player, the easiest thing you could do is shoot a jumper.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying?
What did you just say? What did you just say?
If you're not in shape, the easiest.
Well, I was also thinking if you're also injury prone, like Zion in like lower extremity injuries, shoot more. Falling to the ground and taking all these blows to the. Dang.
Wow.
Hey, it's
yo.
Good catch.
I didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah, he did.
Yeet.
Yeah, he did.
I did.
Out of bounds.
Did you?
Did I?
I was an hour in, man.
I want to thank the Lord. I want to thank Coach Harbaugh. Fucking love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man.
Yeah, I doubled up on it.
I was an hour in. That's what you say.
Let me.
Chris, nah, bro. I don't want to hear. Nah.
Justin, I would just say this. The thing about the jumper though is this. It's like it's a part of the game. It's not like some foreign part of the game that like you don't ever have to do. Like you gotta be able to shoot a basketball. And frankly, like, why would you want to have this incompleteness in your game that you can't shoot a back? Like, you can't shoot the motherfucker, or you.
But what if he can't? That's what I guess that's what I'm at. I mean, like, I know we've gone down this road because I think him adding a right hand is like 6 to 8 more points a game of just like easy.
Yes,
easy because they overplay the left. It's just so easy. It's spin off layup right. Like this is basic stuff. I think expecting more from like, I don't know. I go back to the Giannis. I go back to there's a lot of players like that. Like, I don't want him to stop doing this thing that like this other aspect of his basketball game that's just unbelievable, otherworldly, like no one else can do. I think if he can add a right hand and like transform that into something even greater, that would be more eye-opening for me than seeing him like, because we know what's going to happen. The preseason, he's going to make a jumper, and everybody's going to say, "This is it. He can shoot. It's over." And then it's going to like, he just.
I don't even necessarily mean a jumper. When I say and then the right hand shit, like definitely you got to have a right hand. But like, I mean, like, I want him to be aggressive where he scores the basketball. But I'm saying like adding little things like a floater.
Yeah.
Adding better footwork.
Floater would be nice.
Adding like a side step to your you say your layup, like drop stepping to the right side.
So it's not just all this. No, I understand what you're saying.
It's just a sweep move. It's a face-up sweep move every single time.
So then I guess you answer your own question. Do you think he's going to show up and have added any of those things, like those basic little things?
No.
I just want to answer the question.
Go ahead.
I think the jumper is more important than the right hand.
Really?
Okay.
I completely agree.
I think the jumper is just the willingness to take it. He'll be able to get to the rim more frequently if he just takes more jumpers, the ones that are open, because they're going to be sagging off him, right? 2 to 3 feet. Has he pulled? Like you did it before. Like just continue. Like I don't care about the misses half the time.
Yeah.
Because eventually they're going to go in, and then they're going to have to guard you a little bit closer, and that's going to happen. What's going to happen after that is the sweep throughs are going to work, and then you'll be able to. I think he can finish with his right hand. I just think he chooses not to do it, just like he chooses not to shoot the jumper.
Yeah. No, I remember there was some points last year where he was not so much just the standstill jumper, but he was getting to the free throw line, elevating.
Yeah.
Those are like, I mean, I think of those type of shots as different than those like almost the ones Lita was talking, like the lazy ones, where it's like, they're not really guarding me. This is out of rhythm. Like, let me just take one dribble and shoot. Those always feel not part of his game. But yeah, in rhythm, off 2 dribbles, getting to the elbow, elevating. Like, I mean, can't even contest.
Yep. No, it's just a pick and pop, like just a simple pick and pop.
I don't know if I want him popping.
No, I'm talking like D West pop, not.
Hey, yo.
What? Do not fucking tell me. Do not tell me that's out of bounds. I mean, you can't say anything on the show. Hey, like, literally.
That shit funny, dog. You really can't say anything.
No, you can't. That's why.
Pop.
This is a basic
Why
basketball.
Why do you keep?
Because Nah.
I think you are going too far with that one. We gotta be able to say pick and pop.
It's not the first part of the sentence. It's the last part.
What did I say?
It wasn't even you.
It was me.
Ross.
It was
me.
But we got to be able to say pick
fuck
and
that
pop.
guy.
What did he say?
We got it.
What did he say?
What did he say,
dog? Say it.
Hey,
I don't remember.
Say it, bro.
I don't remember. I got a short memory. I don't remember.
Hey,
on a tape.
Hey, hold on, Justin. If you were to rank things like Zion coming in next season, what are the important things you would like to see? To be honest with you, number one really wouldn't even be shooting in our right hand. Number one would probably be screening.
Not a good screen.
Even more than showing up in elite physical shape.
Yeah,
To me, that's by far the most
I
important.
think that's almost like a given. Like, how many times we spent 5, 6 off
but
season?
he's never done it. So
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
that.
what the fuck? We gonna keep saying it? Like, all right, let's just move on to something else. I think we should just move on to something else that may. These wasn't mid-season boys. I think dribble handoff screening is like number one on my leaderboard.
So it's funny you mentioned dribble handoff. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No. I mean, it kind of goes into what Lito, Five, and Ross were all saying. It's like a combination between the being in shape. I don't know about the right hand necessarily, but being in shape and the jumper. I don't know if the spot up jumper necessarily, or even off of the pick and pop is necessarily what I'll be looking for. I think it's when Zion is in shape, and we see it more times than not, when whatever his peak is throughout the season, you see more of a running jumper. You see more of a little bit of a it's not a floater, but it's more of a pull up. And
When
when
defenders are sinking.
yeah, because they have to respect the drive, and all of their commitment is towards trying to stop him from getting to the basket. But you really only see it whenever he's at his peak conditioning throughout the season. That's where everything clicks in, from the confidence and so on and so forth. Someone put in the comments about the Suns game, but it was the Kings game, and it was a little bit of that Lakers game as well. The last one, not the one of the regular season, the one in which he got hurt. But that's what I want to see more of, because we never see it to start the season. It's always a build up. It's always a like, okay, we'll see it in flashes, but he can't do it. He can't really, we don't get a chance to see it as much, because either A, he's rusty, he's working back from something, or he's not in the right shape.
Yep.
If we're able to see peak Zion in the beginning of the year, and he's able to exhibit what we saw from Golden State, the Golden State game on that road trip towards the end, the Sacramento game, the Lakers game, the Suns game, just if that Zion is present with that shot, it changes every single thing, because at that point there is no way to guard him. So I don't even care as much about the stand. I want him to shoot more jumpers, 100%. But that shot, when it comes to Zion, is indefensible.
And Chris, to your point, do you remember the bench's reaction when Zion took that shot and then they hit it? Like the bench reacted like it was like the Steph Curry night like 3-pointer. Like the whole bench got up and just what?
No. I'm just looking at like Chris. Let's let it ride, man.
I'm listening.
Let it ride. No.
I'm engaged. Go ahead.
I'll just say I think it gives, when Zion hits those little 15-footers, I think it gives the entire team confidence, if that makes sense.
My fault.
And I think as one add on to that, I think he's an incredible passer.
You too, man.
And sometimes the way he attacks the basket, like all the way to trying to get all the way to the rim every time, I think actually decreases what he can do from a passing perspective. And if nothing else, taking and making that 10, 15-footer, that elbow jumper, I think that'll unlock more passing opportunities for him to be a playmaker than him being in better shape and everything else and getting all the way to the basket or even a right hand, because it's going to force the defense to guard him a different way, right? Right now we've been spent this whole time talking about how they guard him, 3 or 4 steps off. And yeah, he's pretty good about, getting ahead of steam and going all getting defenders on their back foot and everything else. I think if he hits that shot a few times, it totally unlocks passing lanes, cutting opportunities, guys in the corner, everything else. So
that's why I think the screening is the most beneficial, because then you get to play 3-on-2, 4-on-3, 2-on-1. Like,
so advantages. So basically the name of the game.
Yeah.
I like
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna ask, what do you? I mean, I don't even want to. I struggle to even name what that shot is at Zion, because it's not. I mean, it's technically a pull up, but we talking like 7 feet away from the rim. Like, it's not like typically that's what's saved for floaters, for runners, and that shot. I mean, you know, he's shooting the basketball with 2 hands, right? Like, it's reserved for only him. No one else really exhibits that jumper. Like, so what exactly is it?
Hey,
What
a
the
jumper's a jumper. No, I mean, I don't know what that means.
All right. Yeah.
Zion's jumpers look like he played in the ABA. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my god.
you know, like how
jail.
yeah, or like
when the whole game happened right around
the room. Like, that's what
Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Like, Andrew Toney, if anybody, shout out to you, Will. That's
Jackie Moon.
like that's what Zion's jumpers look like. But hey, man, just his ability to take them. Like, I make a miss. Usually, probably just gonna, one in the air, take the jump shot, right? One in the
Want to thank the Lord. Want to thank Coach Harbaugh.
I was having a good show. Wahab, I saw you snitching. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, I wasn't the one talking about foreigners, bro. You, I thought we was good. But based on your name, I thought we was brothers.
How can you not like this show?
We're supposed to be brothers.
Hey, Chris, I think that would be called a walk up. It's not a pull up jumper. It's a walk up.
Ooh, I like that. That's different. That
All right,
was,
so here's the week.
I don't like the way I
You
said
wanna
that.
go?
That's all right. Yeah, that's a little.
Engineering one of the harder things I've ever done in my life. I just don't care. Let's get the tweet of the week presented by Standard Mortgage, your local lender for life. Let's get in touch with a home loan expert today. Give them a call at 504-569-3902. Comes from Eric Pincus.
Hey, man, take the Chung thing down.
Oh, I gotta
man.
take the Chung thing.
Like, God, Jesus Christ.
Give Standard Mortgage a little respect here.
Man.
3, 2, 1. Let's get to the tweet of the week presented by Standard Mortgage, your local lender for life. To get in touch with a home loan expert today, give them a call at 504-569-3902. Comes from Eric Pincus. Latest on Bleacher Report, a 3-team trade. Pelicans move Brandon Ingram to, where does Brandon Ingram go?
Got on a Jazz jersey.
Yeah,
here.
Brandon goes.
In the show.
Brandon Ingram goes to Utah. Cam Johnson goes somewhere. Cam Johnson and Walker Kessler go to the Pelicans. We'll start off with Ross. Make the trade.
Couldn't even see the damn thing. Man.
It's not, Brandon Ingram goes to Utah.
What another one?
Cam
was
Johnson.
trade?
Yeah, I gotta get that one up, but I was trying. Cam Johnson and Walker Kessler come to New Orleans, and then I think we send out a pick to Brooklyn, and then Brooklyn gets somebody else from Utah.
So Brandon and a pick for
Kessler and Cam Johnson.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, Cam Johnson's just okay for me. I mean, he's a solid all-around wing, and Kessler's a starting center. So, yeah, look, I still think you've got the Brandon issue that has to be addressed.
So I think the most important part of the trade, if I'm looking at the trade, is the Pelicans get the $13.5 million trade exception.
Can you read the trade, Leo? Can you read the trade?
Pelicans get Cam Johnson, Walker Kessler, and a $13.5 million trade exception.
Okay.
The Jazz get Brandon and Day'Ron Sharp from the Nets, and the Nets get John Collins, Bryce Sensabaugh, the 2025 first rounder from Cleveland, or Minnesota?
I mean, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I really am fine with that. Cam Johnson is a pretty good NBA player, and Walker Kessler for me is a starting center. Like and we get a huge trade exception. No, I really am. I'd be fine with that trade. It's not like it's unspectacular, I think, in the grand scheme of things, but that's the deal you're going to get for Brandon Ingram at this point. So like, I'm cool with it.
Let me ask you this: you say that. What if Brandon has like a 25-5? Like, what if he has just a awesome season? What then?
What do you mean? What then? Like then we will all like and does it lead to team success? You're saying like in the Pelicans go somewhere?
Not necessarily. Like let's say they get to they actually make it to the first round, no play-in, and they lose in the first round. Yeah,
won't mean anything to me.
But I'm saying, do the Pelicans sign him? Do they give him
yeah, no, they can't. There is no money to give. And I mean, you would have to, like, you're talking about having to trade CJ, maybe even trade someone else if you're including Trey Murphy's extension in there too. So like, I don't financially see how they can bring Brandon Ingram back if you're also signing Trey Murphy to an extension without like sort of revamping the entire roster. And I'm like, so for me, that's why I keep going back to the thing. It really isn't even about Brandon anymore. It's about the salary slot that he requires. That's why I'm at this point where, like, if you can get your long-term starting center for a player that you can't bring back, in my opinion, even if you wanted to, without sort of dismantling a good chunk of the roster, you do it. And if you can get a rather large trade exception and a quality wing that can stretch the floor and do some things like Cam Johnson could do, like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
You like
is that a suitable answer?
I mean, yeah, like I think I respect the answer because I think at some point I think we know the answer to it, but like I think the Pelicans have to outwardly say whether they value Brandon more than not even say trade a situation, right? I think, right, like, do they value him more than Herb? Do they value him? Like, these are real questions that are gonna have to happen sooner or later.
If he made what Herb makes, they probably, like, yes, they would value him more than Herb. But the problem is, I don't think Brandon is moving off of that salary slot, and I think he's gonna go to the highest bidder, whoever that is in the offseason. And again, unless you're talking about they move CJ, create space in the roster to like facilitate a longer term deal for BI, I don't see how it happens anyway.
So why wouldn't you trade him and BI this summer?
CJ?
Yes.
You're saying like the summer that just ended?
Yes. Like
I wouldn't have traded CJ just because he had, unless somebody like knocked you off your feet with a great offer. I thought CJ had a really good year. And I think CJ in a certain situation can still be more useful than Brandon on an expiring. And with you bringing in Murray, there's a lot of overlap in skill sets at this point. And the elephant in the room is that Brandon Ingram wants $40 million next year. Like, I don't know why you didn't trade Brandon Ingram this offseason. I don't. And again, not to say that Brandon can't go have a really good year. Like, he can score the basketball. He's a talented offensive player in a lot of regards. Like, in a different situation, he probably will have a good year. But got Herb Jones, you've got CJ, you've got Murray. Like, there's all these other things we talk about all the time. Trading CJ is different for me. I would probably look to trade CJ this coming up off season based on how this year goes, almost regardless of how good or bad the team does. I would say unless you get like late into a second round, maybe even win a second round series or something. So unless you get far enough into this where it's like, there might've been something with this group. Let's see if we can tinker around the edges and maybe get to a conference final or something like that. I would trade CJ this coming up off season.
I think this is my last point. So to me, I think that's the issue with the Pelicans. I think the foresight of not being in front of situations, you trading CJ, in my opinion, you've seen the deterioration in his step. You're going to wait another year. And it's not about his style of play. I think his style of play is fine. But I think if you get him to a contender who has value in picks and or player, right, you also in win now mode, right? So I think if you wait another year, his game deteriorates a little bit more, and then like, what do you get from him at that point?
Yeah, I mean, in the absence of Murray, though, you couldn't get rid of CJ. I don't think. Does that make sense? Like,
I see what you're saying.
You made the trade for Murray, and then that, like, I think sort of allows this conversation to happen. But pre the Murray trade, I don't think you can get rid of CJ. And again, I think it makes more sense to try and move him next year, because then he'll be an expiring that following season. Like, he'll just have more value around the league. Like, he's still making 30 whatever million this year, 2 years left on that. Like, I don't know how big the market would be for CJ right now as a whatever he is, 33-year-old. Like you said, he's lost a step. I mean, I don't know. He shot the ball really well.
Shot the shit out of the basketball in top 5 in the NBA. It would have
to be the right situation, because not a great defender. We've now seen not a lead ball handler, like a great shooter. And I think he's gotten even better in that regard, but it's got to be the right situation. And there wasn't a lot of those type, like, I mean, CJ is somewhat of a role player, right? Like, how many people are trading for a role player making 30-something million in his mid-30s? Not on an expiring.
A lot of questions. Yeah, let's get the fan question. We're going on for an hour and a half. Make sure to smash the like button. We'll go for about 10 more minutes. Chris, we'll start with you. Stephanie had a really good question here. Would Walker Kessler be a good fit with the Pelicans if they are able to get him?
I think in spurts. I mean, you're still probably talking about a guy that's in this system, in this situation with some of the other guys, and the way that the Pelicans say that they want to play, is only going to play 20 minutes a night. And more than likely, that means that he won't be closing games. So I think he's a good fit, just strictly because he gives you something that he gives you a weapon protecting the basket and blocking shots that you haven't had in 6 years.
That's a really good point. 5 from Chris. Y'all think if Willie gets Kessler, that may reduce trades closing minutes, because he will still fall back to what is comfortable, a defensive first unit to close.
Defense. Got you cook right there. But well, if you compare Kessler to JV, then he wouldn't be closing. I think Willie would be forced to play Trey. I think although Trey needs to be consistent with rebounding, and I think that'll help his cause. But this is a year where you have to play Trey like 30 plus minutes a game. Like this is a no-brainer. Yeah. Like if he's not closing games, then this is more so malpractice than anything else.
30 minutes. Like if Trey Murphy doesn't get 30 minutes tonight.
Yeah.
Then what?
Yeah.
I mean,
you seen people get high on their own supply before.
Man.
You think that's
what?
Okay.
What?
Dog, Trey's value is insane around the league right now, bro.
He played to be clear, he played 30 minutes a game last year. I know that, right?
Yeah. But like those closing minutes.
I don't know how many games. That's the funnier one. It's like there's gonna be games I don't know if he's just like a fixture. I mean, in Willie's mind, I don't know that Trey's just like a fixture night to night in the closing.
Lito, would you trade B.I. and Missy? I can't believe we keep talking fucking use Missy. B.I. Missy and a first for Miles Turner and Naismith.
They not gonna want Missy.
We don't.
Bro.
They not gonna want Missy, dog.
Bro. That's a playoff team they talking about.
Like, no. Yeah. Would they? Come on.
Oh man.
They gonna mail you a letter back. Like they ain't even gonna respond to your email, dog.
I don't know about that one.
Whoa.
I don't think that's a bad trade for Indiana.
Really?
No.
Siakam and Brandon?
Look, what we missing here is they don't love Miles Turner. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Mitzi necessarily is an answer, but they don't love Miles Turner. They like that's been a back and forth like for a while now. And fuck the whole B.I. Siakam thing. Your star is one of the best, if not the best point guard in the goddamn league. You let him figure that shit out. It's his job to make that work. And one of the things that I think they needed last year as time went on is they needed someone else who could possibly create. I'm not saying Brandon's that he's the guy, but I know Miles Turner isn't. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying it's a perfect trade. Nesmith may not be the addition, or I would try to find a way to keep him. But yeah, I don't know if that team can afford to pay big money to a center at this point. Anyway, it's dealing with Boston and so on and so forth. I don't think that's a bad deal.
So you have a situation where BI, you say create, like, right? He's gonna need the basketball. Pascal gonna have the basketball. Tyrese is gonna have the basketball. I just don't see how BI would thrive in a situation. I would definitely welcome the trade though.
I think you have a similar problem with what you see with Zion and Brandon, because Siakam pretty much operates in the same area as Brandon. Now you kind of dealing with the same thing, and I think that messes up Tyrese a little bit too. I don't know how that works. I think they played well together in the USA ball at times, right? With the second unit.
Yeah, they did.
But I don't know. And then if I'm the Pacers, like, bro, nah. I got to the conference finals and I know I need a center. Although I don't love Miles, that don't mean I gotta love your bullshit. Like, I don't have to love Miss. Like, that dude's not ready to play NBA basketball. So why would I just give up Miles for some shit that I know may not be in the league in 2 years?
And they play at a crazy pace. Like, I don't know if it's there. Like, I think they play at like a top 3 pace.
Shit, 2. I think they're number 2 in pace.
Yeah, I remember looking at it at one point last year. They played a crazy pace. I don't know that Brandon is like the ideal fit there, but there was a point where I did have them on the list of like who could talk themselves into like a third, like thinking, I need like a third player, like a third fringe all-star caliber player to like maybe go from something to something else. And it was like basically them in Milwaukee. But
Rick Carlisle.
I was just about to, we're on the same. He is the most underrated fucking coach in the league. That dude, he just leans into it. But why?
But I mean, like, I'm looking at the comments. The comments say, like, we're thinking about Brandon as he is as a New Orleans Pelican. We don't know. We don't know.
You think? Oh, okay.
I know, but look, though, you think
it does change. That says a lot about.
I don't know.
Look, though, I don't know. You mean it like do I believe that he can't go to Miami or he can't go to Indiana? Like, I mean, are we saying the book is closed on Brandon? I don't think so. With the right coach, and you got to change in a contract year. Come on now,
Bobby. Listen, Bobby.
I've been trying to figure out who you been talking about.
Bobby, listen, dog. He go to Miami, he'll change. He go to Indiana, man, he liable to smack Rick. Like, it's not even. I think there's a different type of temperature. Rick not putting up with his bullshit.
Nope.
Also, Brandon probably not trying to hear what Rick got to say. Like, I think there's different levels of respect. In a sense, I think Brandon will be willing to listen to Spo or a Ty Lue or something to that effect, rather than a Rick Carlisle.
I gotta stop you there, Jared. Where did Brandon? Maybe this is just a hypothetical, but like, you're telling me that he's not going to listen to a coach. Where do you get that cachet? Like, where do you like get that?
The Pelicans.
I'm sorry. Like, what is? And I'm not like taking a shot at Brandon here, but like, you haven't won a playoff series. You won 2 playoff games in your entire career. This is year 9, right? So you're telling me that this guy's not going to listen to a coach?
I'm not saying he's not going to listen.
No, Jared, he didn't listen to a coach this year saying you need to shoot more 3-pointers. And what did he do? He didn't shoot more 3-pointers. He did not play to a certain play style in which everybody else did. You saw CJ McCollum.
Yeah.
You even saw like just different variations of people trying like to play outside their box. Zion shooting jumpers, so on and so forth, right? It's just, if Brandon shoots more threes this year, maybe it's different.
If I'm Indiana, I actually call about CJ before I call about Brandon.
And look, Ricky,
wow, okay.
What? Am I lying? I'm lying.
I wouldn't. I mean, look, we can. You know what? We agree. We agree to disagree. I wouldn't. No, hell no. Hell no.
He said, "Hell no."
Hell no.
Rick Carlisle quit a job because of Luka's bullshit. Was what I was.
He wouldn't play. He wouldn't put up the shit.
So
Telling you,
Brandon Ingram's not Luka Doncic, bro. Like, what are we?
I'm not.
what
No,
are we
no,
doing?
I'm not comparing him. I'm just saying, like he said, "Fuck it, I'm out of here. I don't have."
So
time for this shit."
if he wouldn't put up with Luka's shit,
You think he's putting up with Brandon?
that's what I'm
All right,
saying.
let's get to the next comment. God, 180 people in here. Make sure you smash the like button. Shout out to the panel. Obviously, shout out to Five and Ross, all the work y'all put in, but shout out to Chris and Lito as well. If you haven't caught any of their shows lately, a lot of people like to take their content, but y'all been doing a great job. Make sure you check out Lito and Chris's shows.
Thanks, man.
They've been putting out a lot of content the last couple of weeks. I know it's addressed to me. It's actually an interesting question. This will be the last fan question. Then we'll get into 5 seconds with Lito. Where does Trey fit in? I mean, I know you're saying that we have Kessler, but where does Trey fit in with Kessler, DM, Herb? Ain't no way Willie's going to close with Trey. I'll start with if Willie doesn't close with Trey's, he needs to be. It's it. Like, you need to get out. I don't see a scenario where Trey does not close every single game. I don't give a fuck if he's not rebounding. I don't care if he's not playing defense. Trey Murphy and Zion Williamson make the most sense. You have to play them as much as possible. You've seen Trey Murphy on the West Coast trip, especially close out games where he's rebounding the basketball. Once again, game 1 in OKC, correct me if I'm wrong, he was the best offensive player on the court and didn't get a shot the last 10 minutes of the game.
Facts.
Probably because you couldn't run the flare screen anymore.
You couldn't run the ghost screen, the ghost flare screen off the Larry Nance flare.
Yeah, you couldn't run that anymore.
Couldn't do that anymore. Couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. What would you
It
do?
was either that or elbow. It was either that or elbow.
That's all we got.
And they went with both.
85
It didn't
games
work.
into the season. That's all we got. All right.
Trey's got to close, Lito, huh? Don't do this thing.
Gotta?
Nah, yeah.
Got it.
See, that'd be the thing.
Got
Like,
to, bro.
Yeah, got it.
like you know who you dealing with.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about that. Like, he's got to close, right?
No, we telling you. You know who you
Who
dealing
would
with.
close? All right, I'm gonna ask this. Who would
You wanna
close?
know?
Who would close over Trey Murphy and why?
Bro, he would pick.
With agreeing with close.
Tony
over
Snell?
He do in the crowd.
he go show you like I ain't gotta do nothing, but stay black and die. Ain't that right, Bobby?
Hell yeah.
Ross, am I crazy? You that?
Oh, I think you're crazy to assume that Willie Green is going to play.
This is I can't believe we're having this
a mostly
conversation.
offensive player in a situation where you were up 4 and needing to stop to close out a game. Shit, hide and watch. Trey Murphy's ass probably ain't gonna be out there.
Yeah.
Hide and
Justin,
watch.
This is insanity.
Oh no,
I can't believe you. I can't believe you still.
Yeah, I'm fucking delusional.
If you need to stop, you know
Yes.
Murray's out there. You
Yeah.
know
Go
Herb's
ahead.
out there.
Mhm.
Whatever,
Zion Brandon.
Jackass Center X.
Jackass
Whoever,
Center X
Frank.
is Zion.
Frank
Shout out
is
Frank.
out there. Zion, like how many? You know, you only play 5. You only get to play 5.
Trey's the
guys.
5th guy.
All
You're
right.
telling,
All right,
bro.
go ahead. If you
You're
need to
gonna
stop-
tell me Tyson's playing over Trey in the final 5?
if you need to stop.
Oh, shut the fuck
If you're
up.
up 4 and you
Ain't
need
no
to
way,
stop.
bro.
If you're up 4 in the last minute and you need to stop.
I
Who
always
you
say
think's
this.
out there?
Why,
So who you
why,
think's
why do
out
I
there?
need to stop?
Put Trey
I just see
Jemison
the-
in.
Bro, this is my favorite part.
Shout
We
out
even
Trey
mentioned Trey.
Jemison.
Just keep scoring. Just keep scoring.
Oh,
But
all
you
right.
know he's
all
not
right.
gonna
Oh, all
do
right.
You talking about the team?
Oh, all right.
That couldn't score 100 points in a playoff
all right.
game?
Yeah. Okay.
Keep scoring.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
what did
yeah,
Brandon
yeah.
say? Just
Let him
try.
do it.
Yeah, let him do it.
Let him-
Go ahead.
do
That's
it.
what you sound like right now. Yeah.
Let him have it. Pause.
Man, what Jared Kane doing on the end of the bench? Put him in the game.
Audio Jungle.
Boys and girls, children of all ages, women, ladies, sit around. Check this out. Today, you saw your quarterback of the future. You saw, shout out to X. You saw your quarterback of the future in the New Orleans Saints. You saw a bum on a bench trying to give him advice after he scored a touchdown. I don't know who the fuck he thought he was talking to, but we don't need to hear anything from you, pal. Hey, bub, you keep that shit over there. You bring that shit back to wherever the fuck you're from. We don't need any of that shit. We don't need you lollygagging around our future starting quarterback with your gossipy bullshit. You bring that shit back. Where you from?
California.
He get the fuck back to whatever city you're in California, pal. We don't take kindly to your kind around here. When we're trying to start kindly, when we're trying to start Spencer Rattler around this motherfucker. We don't need you. We don't need you. We don't need you with their bullshit check downs when this man is throwing the ball down. That's crazy. This man is throwing the football down the field. Don't you come back around here trying to get him to throw check downs to who's the Kendrick Miller. I don't know. I'm just saying somebody.
He hadn't played in like the whole preseason.
Why you drafted him? But anyways, yeah, man, that's a whole nother issue right there too. Because Tajay Spears was here. And he did.
Shout out to the 985.
Yeah, man. But that's all I have, man. Quarterback of the future is on the team right now.
Are you gonna Spencer Rattler jersey this year?
Nah, next year because you're gonna change that number.
Yeah,
18 is god off. But
that's a terrible number.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
What did he play? What number was he in South Carolina?
I don't know. I hope he go to like 5 or 2 or something.
You okay, Ross?
His kind. What are we doing?
Bum ass quarterbacks.
He said bring back CT the other way. I think that's not bad. I mean,
We gotta get Lito off the football talk. Shut our show down.
Like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate everybody pull up.
Hit the likes.
We'll see y'all next time. I didn't see y'all next time. We'll see y'all this week. All right, y'all. Straight Up Saints. Chris Roswell did recaps today. Make sure you check that out. As always, presented by Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm and powered by 40 Energy Drinks. We'll see y'all later.